I write about dragons purely from a serendipitous point of view. I had never ever intended to write a fantasy series at all. My first book about dragons, The Fire Within, began about 10 years ago and started its life as a squirrel rescue story. I was basically asked to write an animal rescue story because I'd written a book about pigeons, which had done quite well for me. It'd been shortlisted for a big prize called the Carnegie Medal. And I didn't win the Carnegie, but I came highly commended. And the first thing a publisher will say to you, of course, is if you write a successful book on a particular subject, they'll always say to you, write us another one, exactly like it. So I did. I wrote a book about squirrels, and because I've always liked squirrels. And when the book went to my publisher, my editor liked the story very much. She thought it was very charming and very English and a very sweet story. But there was one particular character in the story, the mom in the book, called Mrs. Pennycettle. And she said, Chris, what does Mrs. Pennycettle do for a job? And I said, oh, I don't know, I hadn't thought about that. And she said, maybe you could give Mrs. Pennycettle a job. So a couple of days later, I was still wondering what job Mrs. Pennycettle could do when I went to a craft fair in Leicestershire, in England, where I live. And I met a lady who makes clay dragons. And I put the clay dragons into the story, thinking this nice, quirky sort of job would be interesting in the book. And my editor picked up on it, and she liked it, and she said, let's turn it into a dragon book rather than a squirrel book. And that's how the first book came about. So, simple as that.